Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Secret Services Celebrity Psychic Readings. I'm going to be your reader for today, Quintari Shakir. Please make sure that you go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading. Also, make sure to check out my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network, where you get exclusive content that's not available here on YouTube. And for just $2 a month, you can receive all of my psychic readings up to a week early. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the reading about Lisa Left Eye Lopes. All right, so the cards that I get for Lisa Left Eye Lopes, the first card I get is the Goddess card, and this is talking about Lisa Left Eye Lopes. This Goddess card is actually talking about her being initiated, actually. I feel like she was an initiated priestess. I feel like she was an initiated priestess, and I feel like she was a child of... I'm getting the energies of Yemaya, and I'm also getting the energies of Oshun over her. But I'm getting more of like they both work with her, but I feel almost as though like the key energy that she worked with was Oshun energy. That was the key energy that she worked with, because this goddess energy is talking about her. It's talking about her like, you know, being a spiritual being that was all about cultivating, cultivating and fertilizing other people's life force. She was very spiritual, very in tune to other people's energies and vibrations. She could help you. Like, she was that type of person that she was very, very fun. And you know, in these random moments, she could drop some really, really deep wisdom about you that you're like, where did you get that from? How did you know that about me? How did you know I struggle with that? You know, usually this card talks about somebody that enjoys, you know, being very womanly, but I'm saying this as she enjoyed being feminine. What I hear is that, you know, she enjoyed, you know, being receptive, listening, you know, studying, learning, singing, dancing. She enjoyed, you know, femininity, but I'm very much hearing that, you know, as far as her womanness, that came second to her feminineness. So she felt that she was just a force of nature, a force of feminine energy. The storyteller card is speaking about her having the ability to tap into an ancestral bank of wisdom and knowledge, and she gives that to other people. She studied esoteric symbolism. She was very knowledgeable about different stories and symbols, and I'm also hearing that she studied like occult magic, like black magic, and she had a I am hearing that she had a priest that worked over her. So she was very knowledgeable about oral traditions. And what I mean by oral traditions, African spirituality. She knew her place in society as a black woman. She knew her role as a black woman musician, and I'm also hearing that she did use magic to help her with her raps. And I feel as though if you listen to some of her music, I feel this intuitively. Listen back to some of her music, it was subtle. It was subtle. It was subtly layered with. I'm trying to get my words together. It was subtly layered with metaphors that honored the ancestors. That's how I pick it up. Like, it's interwoven in the lyrics. So the Attic card is speaking about her I feel like she had an alcohol addiction, and I feel like um, I feel like she had an alcohol addiction. I feel like that's not something that she wanted to confront. I don't feel like it was like she was strung out on drugs, but I feel like she had a very tough time dealing with alcohol. Um, the victim card is speaking about, it's not speaking about Lisa Left Eye as a victim, but much rather she was Captain Save a Hoe. So I feel like when she was married, because I heard about this back when I was like 5 or 6, that she burned down her husband's house. I feel like she was a sugar mama. I feel like Lisa Left Eye, just she was someone that cared about, I mean, she was on that Bernie Sanders thing, like, we should have no poor people, we should have no single mothers, there should be no sadness in this world. And if she had it, she was going to give it to her very last. But I'm also hearing that she didn't know how to establish clear boundaries with people. So she may have had a mom that had over depended on her for money and support, and she had to leave that mom alone. And I'm also hearing that in her like relationships, men, men asked her for a lot. They asked her for a lot of attention, for a lot of money, for a lot of her energy. The visionary card is speaking about her as an artist, and this is something that I am aware of. So it would make sense that she was the rapper in this particular girl group. In addition to that, I feel as though she had a desire to sing. I feel as though she had the ability to sing. Not saying that she was a good singer, but she had the ability to, if she could train herself. But I more so hear this as through her dreams. I feel like her ancestors would communicate with her through her dreams, different costume ideas, different lyrics to espouse, different dance routines that she created. I almost feel as though she was the basis for the group's creativity. In addition to that, I'm hearing that she gave her ancestral knowledge to Chilli and T-Boz, who were not as connected. Like, they respected her. They respected her for exploring occult magic, but it's not something that they would have gotten into like that, but they respected her for doing it. And they thought it was something that, like, it was just like something cool that she was doing, but they were skeptical about, it being real. The card for the martyr is speaking about her having this desire to be a humanitarian. She was someone that, like, I remember this. I remember that TLC cared about, HIV, sexual health awareness, having safe sex. I feel as though those ideas came from Left Eye. I feel it was her. She was the sexually liberated one in the group. And Lisa, again, I hear it as not only was she the creative foundation, she was also the community service foundation for the group. So they all played their part, but Lisa was integral to helping the group to connect with the community, with the world in terms of education and raising awareness. Okay, so the next thing I'm about to do is I'm about to shuffle my oracle cards to see what was going on with Lisa Left Eye 48 hours before her death. Okay, so all of these cards that came out are speaking about this being very spiritual. The letter of law is talking about her operating outside of natural law and conducting her life without regard for her environment or the messages that her environment was sending to her. I feel that this card is saying that she owed a debt that she hadn't quite repaid. I feel like there was a karmic debt she owed for something that she did. I feel like it was related to, and this is crazy, but I feel as though she did energy work, and I've never heard of this before, but I feel as though she did energy work to kill someone and it didn't work. But she still was to pay a debt, like a blood debt that she didn't pay. Because the Obatala card is over this, and this Obatala card is talking about, because I knew that she went to Honduras. So it's saying that she needed to collect intel or gain knowledge and get advice about spiritual protection. She needed spiritual protection from something that she did where she operated outside of spiritual law, and she needed to pay for it. The La Serene card is speaking about creative work and artistic projects. So on her mind during this trip was mainly about music, releasing an album. I'm hearing that as like the main thing that she cared about. She also wanted to know how to dominate as a solo artist. I'm hearing it as though the spirit started taking her mind from her. Like she tried to take somebody's life, and even though it wasn't successful, she still needed to offer up something, like her soul, something to the degree of her soul. I don't know what she did. Like I've never heard of some crap like this. I hope this makes sense. But yeah, I'm saying that, the ancestors were telling her in her dreams that death was looming for her. And I'm also hearing that, but mainly she was focused on creative work projects. The law of supply is talking about money. This card is always talking about people that don't realize that, money can come through any institution, and that institution can be a person. That institution can be a small business that you've started. That institution can be a family member loaning you the money. But anyway, the law of mind card is talking about she needed to take this trip to receive divine information about her spiritual mission on this planet. I feel that she got a reading, and she said that she realized that she had a very high purpose, but it's not that reading wasn't accurate at all. I just feel that with her death coming so close to, her death being so close to her getting this particular reading, I feel like it was just something that happened instantly. The Ebo card is talking about an ancestral debt that was owed and an offering of atonement. So it's, I mean, I feel as though she knew that she would have to give her life in order to clear a karmic debt because things were chasing after her and she just wasn't willing to give it to them. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to ask is, what religion did Left Eye practice? The Knight of Discs, Abundance, the Princess of Swords. These three cards are telling me that Left Eye was a witch that practiced a mixture of things. I feel like she was into Santeria. I don't feel like it was Ifa. I don't feel like it was Haitian voodoo. I feel like it was something like Ifa, not Ifa. I feel like it was either Santeria or Palo. I feel like she played, like, I don't think that she was so much as initiated into either one, but I feel like she served those spirits to a degree. Because I do hear Oshun. The Knight of Discs, I get the Knight of Discs, the card for abundance, and the Princess of Swords. This is all talking about her approaching religion from the standpoint of, I can be more powerful. I can make more money. She wasn't really thinking about this, thinking about this in terms of character building and the walk that she would have to, take with the spirits that she was serving. She thought more about, the outcome, the material, her being this witch who could cast a spell on any man she wanted to make them fall in love, and she could have the perfect life. It's like she had a very elementary understanding of magic. It's not like she thought much about alchemy or, like, when I say alchemy, I'm thinking about like the law of cause and effect, for example, the law of correspondence. But she is, she was definitely into like like Santeria or Apollo, but I don't get that she was particularly initiated. I feel that overall she was just a witch who did, who mixed hoodoo with what she learned. I also feel like she kept a book of her own spells. Like she had a grimoire that she kept to herself, and she knew how to create very powerful magical spells, and she learned powerful magical spells from other people in the music industry as well that were also into magic. What was her relationship with Dr. Sebi like? She learned a lot from him. He tamed her. I get the card for strength and the Princess of Cups and the card for happiness. These three cards are talking about, her playing. She knew her position. She knew her role. She knew, like, Left Eye was pretty much like a know-it-all around certain people. But around Dr. Sebi, she knew that she didn't know it all. She knew that he was wise beyond his years, and I feel as though Left Eye was kind of sort of attracted to Dr. Sebi in that, like, oh, he's a smooth cat daddy type of way. But he taught her a lot. He taught her a lot about her diet and how to keep her energy on the stage. And she brought that information to the group. Like, she kept them, she made sure that they ate the right things and that they dieted well, and that, you know, she was pretty much like the spiritual backbone of the group. You know, she was kind of a hot mess, but in her being a hot mess, it was like beautiful chaos. You know, you couldn't lie that she didn't, you know, bring, you know, a solid infrastructure to what TLC was. Let me get a little bit more information. Yep, and Dr. Sebi also taught her how to use magic, and how to keep herself in the spotlight, because I'm hearing it as she would come to him for advice about being a solo artist, and he would caution her against it because he felt like it was dangerous to do, because of the way, because of what it would require. And I feel as though he would tell her things to the effect of, you know, that if you go out to be solo, you're going to have a lot of people coming after you. And this is better for you to operate, you know, as a group with these other people. But I mean, she was persistent about it, and Dr. Sebi served her. Like, you know, he very much cared about her like a goddaughter. They were pretty close, but he was crucial to Lisa Left Eye's success, and crucial to her keeping her composure when people would find out, you know, when her business would hit the media. Okay, now I get the card for the Chariot, the Empress, and the Princess of Wands. The question that I had to ask is, are she and Dr. Sebi connected in an afterlife? This is letting me know that I feel almost as though, I feel that Lisa Left Eye's energy may have reincarnated already. I feel like she had a very fast process towards reincarnation. I feel like her process was so quick because of the work that she did or whatever she owed the spirits. I feel like, and this is what I feel like the punishment was. I feel like she went to the other side, and they said that we took your life because you acquired what you got through ill-gotten gain, and we're going to just hit the reset button. We're going to go ahead and send you back into the world immediately. And you got to do it the right way again. I don't get that they're spending time with each other. The Chariot is telling me that this was like, her afterlife process was expedited. The Empress is telling me that, you know, it's kind of like pregnancy. Like, she was pushed out really quickly. And the Princess of Wands is, I mean, as you can see what this card is doing, I feel as though with the Princess of Wands is more so saying, like, you know, on that side, even then she was trying to magic her way out of it, you know, kind of like, you know, not really honoring the spirits and honoring their requests so much as she liked for things to come. She liked for things to be given to her. Not to say that she's not a hard worker, but tremendous success requires tremendous amounts of effort. So you can't just work 40 hours a week and expect an 80-hour paycheck. And, you know, even though she was immensely talented, her ancestors were not particularly pleased with some of the work that she had been doing. And I feel that she's not spending time with Dr. Sebi, but much rather her energy exists on this earth right now, in a new form. But I also, I'm not quite sure, and maybe other readers should do a reading on this, but I get that she's reincarnated in the energy of a man, a bisexual man. Okay, so the next questions that I'm asking are, what was the car accident really what caused her death? The hangman, the strength card, the completion card. Dr. Sebi's coming up in this reading as the strength card. As someone that is more so like he's more so representative of taming, a taming of very wild energy. But the hangman is speaking about her, at a crossroads. Where do I go? I know that I've evolved, but where do I go? Left or right? And I feel like I feel like Dr. Sebi couldn't even predict that her death was going to come that quickly. I feel like it was both the car accident and the ancestors making it happen. But let me ask, was this a setup? I don't get that this is a setup. I get she's like, Lisa is now coming up as the Queen of Swords. And this is, she is the Queen of Swords. And then Dr. Sebi is the strength card. So the failure in the Queen of Swords and the death, Queen of Swords, death, is exactly what it says. It's like there's a mechanism that failed on the car, or there's a mechanism that failed on the car, and she failed to repay whatever she was supposed to repay. Look, whatever she was supposed to repay, it could be this. It could be something to the effect of she had to burn $350,000, $1 bills one by one, and burn them one by one, okay? And throw the ashes into a river. That could have been it, but she may not have had the $350,000 to do that, all right? So she didn't pay the spirits for whatever it was. The Queen of Swords is speaking about her being, kind of standoffish about this, kind of putting it off, whatever it is she owed, or putting off the messages that she was getting. Like, she took them seriously and she was afraid of the messages that she was receiving. But at the same time she was also like, well, maybe this is just something I'm hearing. Maybe this is just psychological, and I don't need to honor this as I don't need to honor these what I'm hearing as a request for my service. I'm going to honor it as a crazy voice that I'm hearing in my head. Let me take a pill. The death card is speaking about the end. Okay. It's like the end of everything, the end of her life, the end of the agreement, the end of the contract, things start anew. The next question that I'm going to ask is, what was her relationship like with T-Boz and Chilli at the time of her death? She was disappointed. Like, I get the card for disappointment, the sun, and power. She felt that they were not supportive of her branching out into a solo career. She felt that she felt isolated from them. She started getting very distant. She almost wanted to sabotage things with them. She felt like they were her sisters, but she felt it was like one of those situations like sometimes blood ain't thicker than water. That business was interfering with the friendship, and it was better for them to just be business partners with each other through the group. But she wanted to do her own thing. The Sun card is speaking about her wanting more shine, more attention, more fame. But really, this has been about her wanting more money, because the Power card is like, yes, she wanted an increase in her celebrity status. She already had that. But she wanted more money. She didn't have a large cash flow. I'm going to pull more cards to get more information. She felt like they had to make group decisions. Like, it was like, we gonna vote on this. Like, it's like sometimes it would end up 2-1, and I feel that Chilli and T-Boz saw eye to eye more than Left Eye did. Like, she was the odd one out. She felt like they kept her. She felt like they took too much time contemplating. Or they took too much time overthinking or second guessing decisions, such as if somebody offered them a deal, it was kind of like, well, we need to take this, we need to take it and take it now. I hear it as though T-Boz was like, no, we're not making money. We need to think about this. We need to hire somebody, help us out. Chilli's kind of would go with she would acquiesce to whatever T-Boz would say, and Left Eye's like, no, we can get out of this. We can pay our way out of this. We can magic our way out of this. She felt like they were becoming hindrances to her acquiring financial freedom. She also felt like they were being a hindrance to her living out her dream on a grander scale. But she loved them very deeply at the same time. It's like when it's like the child that's 18 years old and then has to go off to college. Like, you have to live your life on a different scale, but that doesn't mean you don't love your mother. The next question that I have to ask is, was there a negative or dark energy following Left Eye in Honduras before her death? There was, and it was the energies of the ancestors of a man that she tried to, I guess it's the man whose houses she burned down, but that man had, see, this is one of those situations where it's like, you don't want to fuck with people because you don't know who's on their team. But I get that she was angry with him cheating on her, and she cast because the science card is about magic and spell work. So I get that she tried to do energy work on him to bring the situation to light or to get him to stop cheating. But I feel more so like the house burning down was like a ritual going awry. And it was something that didn't complete, but even though she attempted it, she called down spirits, and those spirits still needed to be paid, even though she didn't complete the work. Once you start feeding a thing, it's like a dog, okay? It's like once you start feeding something, it's going to continue showing up to your house. And if you don't feed it, it's going to shit on your porch. It's going to bark outside. It's going to scratch up your door. It's going to make its presence known. So there was a dark energy following her. I'm going to keep investigating into this. Hold on one second. So what I'm picking up is that she and this man were engaged in a spiritual warfare with each other. He's coming up as a Prince of Wands, and again, she's the Queen of Swords. I'm saying is like he didn't have a lot of magical ability, or like he was just physically overpowering. He could physically overpower her. She took care of him financially, blah 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 blah. I guess what I'm getting at with the victory card is that both of them wanted to one up the other. Okay. The defeat comes here where he went to a priestess or a spiritual worker, for his own protection. And I feel like that priestess or spiritual worker reversed, or basically it's like this, like, this priestess uncrossed him, or she made, like, the spirits were still targeting him or after him, and they then started targeting her because they get the card for defeat and the Princess of Dis, because then she goes from the Queen of Swords to the Princess of Dis, and this is like where she's, I see the Princess of Dis is pretty much like, oh, you're a broke bitch, and I don't think that she was ready to, like, she had the money or the resources to get these spirits off of her. The card for gain, the card for the Hierophant, and then the card for the Prince of Cups. I don't know if they were married or if they divorced, but if they were married and they divorced, but I feel as though he has been able to get money from her estate, or he's been able to get money from some of the music that she's done or something. But he has the right, a legal right, to own some of the things that she's produced, and he gets a little bit of money from it. But it's not a lot of money. But he is legally connected to her. Like, if you look up songwriting credits or something, I don't know, but I'm hearing that that's one of the that was more of one of the consequences of the spiritual work that she did. Like, she upon her death, she also gave up, a lot of rights and a lot of her money. I feel like she had money stashed away somewhere, and he took the money. And he knew where the money was. Yeah, she had his name on some accounts, and he took some money from her after the death. But as far as a dark energy following her, there was a dark energy, but this is it's complex. It's a complex set of factors that are at work in determining, the cause of her death, because there was a failure in the machinery. There was a failure in something with the car. Something failed. And I don't get that this was like a rare malfunction. This particular part failed. Like, it's like, if her brakes failed in that moment, for example, she could have turned her car off and then turned her car back on, and then the brakes would have been working just fine. So this is a case of a freak accident, but it was definitely one in which Spirit was trying to get her attention, and death was basically like, look, I might not get you today, I might not get you tomorrow, I might not get you to next year, but I'm gonna get you. With that being said, I want you all to go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading. Please go to my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network, and get exclusive psychic readings from me for just $2 a month. You get to see everything that you see on this channel a week ahead of time, but there are also other things that you all are not privy to, things that you all have not seen that are not available on this channel at all, and I want for you all to see them. So with that being said, please go to patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network and sign up for a membership. go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading. And thank you all for supporting me, and thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
Now we're standing on the rugged ground. It's a shame that I feel bad for them, but so glad for us. We have each other, and I just want this to last.